Actually, it's not something. It's not like I go in a forest like this and I stay under a tree and I connect to the trees and I connect to the land and with the birds and with the wind, and it's not like something there. It's the lack of something. It's the lack of the world. It's the lack of perception. It's the lack of this dynamic that the mind enters automatically. Like when the world tells me who I am or who I'm supposed to be, and in there is nothing. This tree doesn't tell me anything about my identity. He doesn't give a shit about me. So beautiful, so beautiful. Because if it will be a human being there, it will tell me, Marius, you are this or that, or you are not this or you are not that, all kind of ideas which my mind might entertain and might get into that game and into that exchange. But this tree is just sitting there trying to fight for the light and go for the sun, and is just completely clueless about here and my thoughts and my ideas about the world, and emanates so much peace, radiates so much silence that draws me there, draws me to connect with that space of silence and to realize that, yeah, I'm beyond all these identities, I'm beyond all these ideas of who I am. Yeah, this is what is it, silence. For most people, most of ourselves, if we are honest with ourselves, we are craving for this space of silence. Like everyone is fantasizing, okay, I'll buy a house in the countryside and I go there and I don't want to hear anyone and I don't want to see anyone. And I have friends that they do that, and not one time it happened to me to actually hear this. Like some friends tell me, like, look, Marius, I have this house in the countryside, it's very silent, very beautiful, but I cannot stay more than 3 days. After 3 days I start to hear my thoughts and I cannot be there. I have big speakers, loud music, I stay, I do something, but once I get in touch with that intensity inside of me, I just have to move to the city. I have to get in the car, go back city and continue resume my life. So yes, this question is very good. If it's easy to sit in the silence, because unless one cross this barrier of one's own thoughts and emotions and intensity, which is stored inside ourselves, like in the silence, they naturally come to the surface. Like you sit there, and if you don't get more stimulus from the outside world, naturally whatever you stored, whatever you repressed inside yourself, comes on the surface. So it's bound to kind of, because they want to be seen. All these things that we repress them and we store them deep inside ourselves, they want to be seen. They want to come on the surface, to be recognized and acknowledged. And yeah, there is a reason why we didn't want to acknowledge those things for years in a row sometimes. Maybe because they are too difficult, too intense. They bring with them emotional memories, emotional trauma, whatever is stored there. Like it's difficult to sit with. So yeah, first step in the silence, it might be challenging. It might be challenging because one meets with oneself, and it's not an easy meeting sometimes. If you already not have peace with oneself, this meeting can be very challenging. But the meeting itself has the purpose to bring peace, even if it's challenging, and many times it's challenging. It invites resolution. It calls for resolution. Now you will meet your own ideas, your own guilts, your own emotional things inside yourself. But once you make peace with them, then you have peace with yourself. It's the most valuable thing in the world. Nobody can put price on that. I feel we need the silent retreat whenever we feel ourselves and our identity totally drowned in noise. When we feel like we lose ourselves and not anymore we know where we are and what we are and who we are, always we need to withdraw into a space of silence to find ourselves again. It's a natural movement. And of course we can ignore that calling, some of us, years and years, but sooner or later this will catch up with us. So because we cannot exist in a normal, balanced, harmonious way unless we have a solid sense of who we are. And the more we interact and the more we mix with the external world, and we lose ourselves in the noise of the external world, where each and every interaction and each and every dynamic tells us who we are. And most of the time these ideas of who we are, they are different. So of course then after a while you experience some sense of confusion, like who I am. I'm the father of my children, I'm the owner of my business, I am the executive of this, I am this, I'm that, and so many identities. Everyone tells you that you are someone else, and therefore deep down in yourself you kind of start to believe all these stories, and you lose the sense of the deep identity. And therefore one needs to stop, to put this aside for a while, and then to return back to oneself. And then of course you can come back in the world and like learn to not take these superficial identities serious. Just okay, treat them as they are. Okay, I am this, I am that, not a problem. Just for the sake of functionality, dress that clothes of identity temporarily in order to resolve a practical thing in life, but not really believing that is real and it should be taken seriously, fundamentally seriously. So that's why we need silence from time to time. Not always, all the time. From time to time it's healthy.